Welcome to the Great Girlfriends podcast, where we discuss life, love, laughter, and everything in between. We're your hosts. I'm Sybil Amuti.
And I'm Brandis Daniel.
Hey, great girlfriends.
Hey.
Oh my goodness, what a beautiful day.
I know, we miss y'all.
Miss y'all madly. Can't wait to see y'all in June.
Even though I've been seeing great girlfriends just out and about in the street, like...
That's because you fancy Brandis.
I've been seeing great girlfriends.
Have you?
Yeah.
Are they like in the same?
No,
are you just running up to people?
I just been meeting them. I've been meeting great girlfriends everywhere.
That's so cool.
Everywhere I meet great girlfriends. So I miss most of y'all, but some of you guys I've caught in the streets.
That's their Brooklyn life. I live in Jersey, and you gotta like honk at me to see me. Like it's not the same.
Yeah.
You know? So I do miss being in the city and having run-ins with people at Starbucks or whatever be the case. So
yeah.
But for those of you that have not purchased your ticket for the Great Girlfriends Conference, June 13th through 15th, get your ticket now.
Yes, I have butterflies about it. Like,
yes,
it's going to be so incredible. And we have so many new great girlfriends coming this year.
We do.
So, it's funny because sometimes, we have our same great girlfriends who come, like, every year. We have great girlfriends who've come, like, multiple years, and we love to see y'all.
Yes.
But I'm so excited about meeting all these new great girlfriends, too.
Me too. So if you're not in our Facebook group, the Great Girlfriends on Facebook, you're missing out because I see Charlotte is coming. Like all these women from Charlotte, North Carolina are coming.
Yes.
I see California. I'm seeing Chicago. Of course,
Texas,
Memphis.
Arizona.
Yes.
Yep.
So I'm super excited. Our speaker announcements are coming soon. If you haven't seen a flyer on Instagram under the Great Girlfriends, it's because it's for the VIPs first. So if you're a listener, if you're on our mailing list, if you're a friend of a friend of a friend, then you've heard about it.
Yep.
Get your ticket at thegreatgirlfriendsconference.com. This is the 4th year, and I love it. Do you love it?
It's my favorite conference.
It is my favorite.
It's my favorite conference. And every time I say that to somebody, they look at me like I'm crazy because they're like, of course it's your favorite conference. And I'm like, no, seriously, unbiased, because we really get our schedule to a place where it's a conference we would want to attend.
Yeah.
And we've both been to a lot of events and a lot of conferences, and we go to a lot of things happening. Mm-hmm. So it's just, we just make sure that we curate the experience where it's something that, okay, this is dope.
Yeah.
And we go through the schedule sometimes and we're like, yeah, I don't know if I can go to that.
That's right. That's right. And then we change it.
And we change it.
And change it again.
And change it and change it until we get it to a place where it's like, oh, we want to be here. Yeah.
Right. Speaking of which, I can't be here tomorrow, but I'm on Brandis's IG at Brandis Daniel, and Brandis has won an award, guys.
Oh, yes.
I'm so excited because the Harlem Biz Alliance has honored Brandis as Entrepreneur of the Year with Harlem's Fashion Row.
Yes.
Go
I'm
B.
so excited.
Go B.
I am.
Go B.
I'm so excited.
Shake your moneymaker, girl. Shake your moneymaker.
You are so crazy. It's so crazy because I used to go in there and work.
Really?
And the year when I didn't have any money to do HFR, I was in there doing a model casting. They let me see the space for free. Mm-hmm. And the times when I was working, I work in there. Like, it's such an honor. I'm so excited.
Yes.
I am super excited. And yesterday I was like firing off emails like, oh, this is coming.
And she had the audacity to give this late announcement. It's like she forgets to tell the people in her life, like, does your full board know? I know, but
no.
the rest of the board. So listen, board members for HFR, if you're listening, Brandis forgot to email all of you and remind us all that the award ceremony is taking place tomorrow. She's going to shoot that email today, I'm sure, right?
I'm taking my life day. The problem is I am taking my life day by day, not to be overwhelmed, but the other challenge with that is that I miss
forget
things.
Yeah. But that's okay. That's the busy life of an entrepreneur.
And Miss Sybil,
yes,
you just recently had an anniversary yesterday.
Say what? Say what? Say what?
How many years married?
It has been 13 spicy, beautiful, saucy, romantic, crazy, wow. amazing years with the love of my life, Mr. Kwaku Amuti.
I love it. And I'm looking at this picture. I love that. I remember when y'all took that picture. That was so cute. That was from the conference.
Let me see the picture. Oh, yes. We did take that picture at the conference.
At Sybil_Amuti. If you're not following her, getting all the deets on her life, you need to be following her.
It's going down. It's going down. But those 13 years have been amazing. I want to make sure I salute Kwaku.
Yes.
Publicly. Yes. Before all the great girlfriends.
Yes.
Just to remind all of you, any of you that are single, or if you're in a marriage and it feels shaky, hang tight and stay faithful and believe for the best and put in that work.
Yes.
Put in the kind of love that you want to give back.
Yes.
And I promise you, not only will your marriage or your romantic life change, but your whole life will change.
Yes. Let me tell you, that was the episode.
That was the episode? That's today's episode? That really is a whole separate episode. Because I promise you, you don't get to 13 happy years acting a fool. And that's real talk. Like, I do need to make sure I pat myself on the back as a wife because my husband is for real happy.
That is a huge pat on the back. Because, Because let me tell you, some days you do just want to act a fool.
Some days you really want to respond like real straight foolery, like going off.
Like you're from Memphis.
Like, I have to put that 901 down, and I have to remember who I am in my inner being where God sits. And I have to stick with that because I want to give the love that I want to receive. Yes. I don't want to play games like that with my life.
Absolutely.
And my legacy.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So 13 happy years.
I love it.
16 years total together.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's a long
man.
time.
I know.
I know.
I'm gonna put that on a resume or something if I ever go out.
Was that you and I talking about how that should go on a resume?
It totally should. Listen, I think we should change resume format. I think resume should first reflect your personal attributes. Like, first of all, let me make it known I am a team leader. How? Why? I'll tell you. I'm a wife of 13 years.
Yes.
I have 2 children.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm managing a whole bunch of personalities, strengths, and weaknesses at one time. That belongs on a resume.
That belongs on a resume. Or somebody who's actually the caretaker for their mom or dad or grandparent.
Yes.
You know how hard it is being a caretaker?
Child.
That belongs on the resume.
Are we considered caretakers because we're mothers? Or are we just mothers? That's separate. No, that's separate.
We don't get an extra credit for that.
No bonus points for us.
No bonus points.
So all right. So shout out to the caretakers and the mothers. Mm-hmm. Shout out to all of you because none of these jobs are easy. Because I promise, caretaking is probably like another form of motherhood.
Oh, it is.
Yeah. So shout out to all of you.
Yeah.
So, okay, we've got the conference out the way. We talked about personal life. We talked about business life. Today, we need to talk about brand building.
Yes.
And I think this is great, Brandis, because you and I have both spent years separately and collectively building brands.
Yes.
And
you're the master.
I think we both have masterfully worked. Because because listen, tomorrow is the big day, Entrepreneur of the Year.
Tomorrow's the big day.
Tomorrow's big day. Like, clap that up.
Go ahead.
So, I mean, we both put in that work in brand building. And my experience has just been different because it's been in different areas of brand building with different genres, et cetera, with people and corporations. But the structure of it now, because with entrepreneurship at an all-time high, we deal with a number of women who are stepping into building their personal brand. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people are building their brands late.
Yes. Meaning
we're now having the aha moment. We're like, wait a minute, I am a brand. Mm-hmm. And, you know, my brand has a voice. My brand has a meaning. My brand has it has an archetype. Mm-hmm. But we're looking at things with the consumer lens. And so it makes it hard for us to build out the brands that really make noise in the public or really make waves or have sustainability.
Yes.
So today, great girlfriends, we're giving you just a mini quick lesson into some key what and whatnots on brand building, because I think you and I have learned a number of lessons along the way. Mm-hmm. And
tough, hard, excruciating,
expensive,
painful lessons for me.
Yes, and even with building the great girlfriends and establishing this brand together, it's been powerful as an exercise for us because we bring our separate brand strengths to the table, but there's one voice to the brand.
Yes.
And I think that was powerful in our partnership, was how to locate that synergy in the voice. But it's time we talk about this.
Yes.
And the reason I say this is because we get the emails, and direct messages from women who are saying, "How do you?"
We do. But can I just take a step back for a second?
I don't know. Where you going? Where you stepping into?
Just don't worry about where. Don't you worry about where I'm stepping into. You just.
It depends on
you
where
don't
you
even you don't even have to step in. I'm gonna do it myself.
Okay, we'll step in. Go ahead.
But I want the great girlfriends to understand that at this moment, you really do need to pull your pen and paper out, because Sybil is giving me credit, but she really has been a masterful brand building machine for a long time. This is what people paid her thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to do, that you're about to get for free in this episode. I'm gonna give some amens. And I'm gonna contribute a little bit. But I want you guys to understand that you're about to get information from someone who's worked with some of the top brands in the building, like from record labels to some of the world's most sought after leaders and thought leaders. So please pull your pen and paper out. Know that we don't know if you're going to get this free episode again. We don't know if she's going to drop these gems on another episode. So you want to get ready. Okay? All right.
You want to get ready. You do.
Right.
Go ahead and grab your pen and paper. It is useful. And rewind as you need and share with your friends. But let's jump into it, because we're not going to spend a lot of time on it, because Brandis and I both have classes that we're going to invite you to at the end of this episode. And if you want to start to get prepared, get excited, because we're not going to leave you on a cliffhanger. We're definitely going to give you some next steps into building out and creating strategy. But the first thing I think we need to recognize, yes, you are a personal brand, right? And that's a start point for all of us, is to recognize that this whole time, your whole life, you've been building a brand.
Yes.
You've been building a brand with your character, with the way that you move personally and professionally, the way that you appropriate your talents and gifts outwardly to the world, the way you express your authenticity, the way you relate with people, and the way that people transact with you.
Absolutely.
And so I think it's important for us to remember, as personal brands, that the construct of your brand starts with your character.
Yes.
It starts with your DNA. It starts with the way that you appropriate your strengths and your weaknesses.
Yes.
Which ones you place on display at any given point in time. Which means at any given time, I have the authority. I have a choice. I can come as my strongest, best self or my weakest self. And go ahead.
Or your fake self.
Or my fake self. Because we have those
let
personas.
me tell y'all something. I've seen it happen. People have built a whole brand on their fake selves, and it comes crumbling down.
Oh my gosh.
I don't care how many followers you got. People want authenticity.
Absolutely.
People want what's real.
Yeah.
And you might make a little bit of money off of being your fake self for a little while, but it won't last.
It won't last. The thing about building a brand is that authenticity has to sit at the center of everything that you do, who you are, and what you display outwardly to the world. Is number one. Is being authentic, true to yourself. Even the parts that you don't feel are most flattering, be honest about those things. Be forward with those things, because those things are what make you sticky and tangible to the public or to your audience or to those people that you're relating with.
Yes.
And I think it's safe to say that you can look at any other personal brand that's in the market that you have an affinity for, and you can see the things that you love about them. And most of the time, it's their transparency or honesty about their goods, their bads, and their uglies.
Absolutely.
Right? And then you can see the brands that you can't stand.
Yeah.
And it's because they're being good, bad, and ugly too.
Yes.
And you just don't relate to them.
Absolutely.
But the ones that you're going to relate with, that you're going to transact with, that you're going to convert with the most are the honest brands.
Yes.
So when we build our personal brands, we don't want to build a perfect brand. We never want to pretend to be a brand that we're not.
Correct.
We want to build an honest brand. And we want to build the type of brand that people can see, recognize, and respect.
Absolutely.
And so that means starting to take acknowledgement of what is real, like what is honest and strong about you, what is real, what is a weak point for you, what's an area of opportunity, and what's truly a threat to you. what's to your detriment. And that's a SWOT analysis. But that SWOT analysis helps you to get an eye on who you are as a person and how you pay that forward or how you present that outwardly.
Yeah.
So then from that point, you start to understand how you relate with people. And you're able to identify times when you're being your strongest, times when you didn't show up as your best as a personal brand, times when you have opportunity to do more, and times when you're threatened by those habits that will take you down.
Absolutely.
So when you're building your infrastructure, it's important to think about that. That's first. And I want to speak to that most importantly because most entrepreneurs are building a personal brand first. So you may think that you're building out a professional brand, you're building out a business, but many of us are trying to live off or identify with these brands in the market, and they are personal brands. They're not going to transact on a larger level until we allow them to sit independent of our persona.
Yes.
So if it's Brandis's Cookies, it's built off of Brandis. The cookie could be Keebler or Oreo, but because you call it Brandis's Cookies, it's Brandis's Cookies. So if Brandis don't show up to sell those cookies with a persona that people want to buy into, it doesn't matter how good, bad, or ugly the cookie is. They're buying into the idea that that personal brand has been associated with that product. Right. So when we start to understand that, we also know at any given point, the way we present our brand or the way we relate is the second piece to brand mastery, which is ultimately how are you relating with the people in your life? I'm not talking about the public. I'm not talking about the Instagram persona, the Facebook. I'm talking about the friends, families, and fools, because that's your first round investors, right?
Right.
Because those are your early stage investors.
They are.
And we have to all understand and look around and say, okay, we've got investors at every stage of our business, of our brand.
Right.
The early stage are the people that are stuck with us.
Yep.
That's family, right?
Yep.
They're like, listen, this blood, can't nothing separate us. You're my sister, whether I like it or not.
Yep.
Your brand is a part of my world, whether I like it or not, because people are going to ask your sisters about HFR everywhere they go, or great girlfriends, no matter if they like it or not. It's just by family association. Friends, because friends have bought into your persona, your personal brand. They have found love and respect or admiration for you, and they're willing to bet on you.
Yes.
Fools are the ones who not quite sure.
Right.
They found one or two things that they admire. They haven't quite done their homework, but they're sticking to the things that they love, and they're assuming the best about you. Not necessarily recognizing your areas of opportunity, your threats, and your weaknesses. They only see you for the hero that you've displayed in their life. And that could be your mentees. It could be people that work with you that have only seen you from one side. And those people are willing to make an investment as well. Right. But if we understand how we relate to these people and the type of attributes that we've played forward, this is our first area of interest. It is. These are the people that we use for our focus group. These are the people that are going to convert first, meaning when I sell Brandis'sCookies.com, Brandis ain't got no cookie brand, y'all. I am going to have a sweet potato pie company in my retirement. You will have one.
But anyway, go on.
You will. You're definitely going to have one because she loves sweet potato. But is it going to be called Brandis's?
No, it's going to be called Mama Jessie's.
Okay, cool. I was going to say.
Mama Jessie's,
okay. So Mama Jessie's sweet potato pies. But these are the people that are going to buy it first. These are the people that are going to speak on behalf of your brand, and they're going to be your raving fans or your ambassadors.
Yes.
These are your allies.
So what about, so I have two questions for you, playing devil's advocate. So I'm going to go back to your first point. So the first point, some people say, but you need to be the face of your brand, right? So people say you need to be the face of your brand. So how do you kind of separate those two, right? And the second question is, there are people who are like, I've started something, but I can't get my family or friends to support me. What does that mean? So one, you need to be the face of your brand, yes. Yes. You need to be the face of your brand, but you need to be the authentic face of your brand. Yeah. Which means whatever the brand persona is that you want people to buy into, it needs to be matched or associated with the honest person that is selling the brand. That's like if I tried to sell you sports right now. I'm tall, right? So many people assume I've played basketball. Never. Right. Can't dunk. Can't play no 2-on-2, whatever it is. So if I sold it, I can only sell it but so far. Okay. Right? Yep. Which brings me to the next point. The people that know the brand, know the brand but aren't buying into it. Right. If I sold you basketball, Brandis, how much of it would you buy? Yeah, I wouldn't buy it. Because it's not honest. Right. If I sold it to the girl down the street, could she possibly buy it? Potentially, yes.
Because she would believe something about me just based off of my physical attributes, right?
Right.
So the people that are closest to you that haven't bought into your brand may not be buying into it because it's not authentic.
That's so good.
And you may want to look at what you're selling.
Some of our great girlfriends are saying, ouch.
And we have to be honest. The sooner we say ouch, the sooner we can make more money.
Yes.
And we can ask the most empowering questions, which are to my favorite friends, family, and fools. If you were to buy one thing from me, what would you buy? If you were to give me one attribute, what would you say it is?
You are an ideas person. Anybody would pay you for ideas.
So anyone would pay me for ideas.
Yeah.
So I then start to know, if I ask that of 10 people, and 2 out of 10 say the same thing, then I know I need 5 more. I need 6 out of 10 at least to tell me the same thing to get it. What are the top 3 things that you find most empowering about me? What are the things that you know about me to be true? And if it doesn't match that product that you're selling in the market, then you have not authentically displayed your strengths. Meaning, we just had a class. I just did a Brave Biz Master class in Memphis, and a person in the classroom said, I'm having trouble with getting people to buy into this new thing that I'm doing. And I said, you have to bring it out of hiding. Sometimes we want to do this new thing, but we don't feel confident enough to display it publicly.
We don't market it.
So people don't know.
Right.
And some people don't know that it's a strength of ours because we keep it a secret.
Right.
It's just like the girl who's at work who sings in the elevator, and then when she goes to work, she's a secretary.
Right.
But then no one hires her to sing, and she wonders why when she starts singing, no one knows. They don't know.
Right.
We've never heard you display that strength. We've only seen you operate in a weakness or another area of talent.
Right.
So if people don't know the full body of talent, they can't buy into it.
Or the girl who decides to start a lipstick line and we never see her in lipstick.
Never seen you wear lipstick.
We're trying to figure out, why am I buying lipstick from you?
Why would I buy it from you?
Right.
When did you start caring about lipstick?
It's true.
You've never worn it. It's not a thing for you. So why do I care?
Right.
And even if she decided that she cared because she learned something about lipstick that was fascinating, if she hadn't started showing her passion about the facts about lipstick or the thing that she admired about lipstick, people would never know.
Yeah.
So we can't jump out the box and then our friends, family, and fools are looking like, what's she doing out the box? She need to come on back to the thing that I know her for.
Right.
So I think we have to understand that the way we relate, the way we share our passions, the way we share our strengths will determine ultimately how people convert with us.
Yes.
Will people transact with us when it's time? Meaning, for every mom that's out there selling Girl Scout cookies on behalf of a daughter that I never met, but I've probably spent $30, $40 on cookies.
Right.
We start to understand that it's about how you relate. It's about how you display outwardly the things that matter to you the most. So I'm going to challenge the great girlfriends first that are building the brand to ask yourself the question, have you truly outwardly displayed your passions or strengths? Enough to the point that people will convert with you.
Yeah.
And when you start thinking about conversion is a very essential part of it, because it's one thing for us to nurture our friends and family with encouraging words, with tips on fashion, with favorite lip colors. Let me do your eyeshadow before you go out. Let me coach you on this new business idea. Let me invest in you, or let me give you some tips on real estate. All these things that matter to us and are great business or revenue generators. It's another thing for us to ask for people to pay for the very same thing.
Yeah.
And so people become more transactional when they see the thing that matters to you or something that is a strength of yours as a super strength, which means you're outstanding at it. You stand up for it before anyone else. Or you're speaking to a pain point. You're eliminating a pain or increasing a pleasure, which gives people an opportunity to find their own strength in your brand.
Right.
So I didn't care about minorities representing 1% of fashion designers in the industry until you hounded me with it. Like, every time we talked. And I was like, so this is important to me now.
Right.
Because she's right. That number is a disparaging number. And shame on all of us for allowing this to take place in the market for so long.
Right.
What's my call to action?
We'll be right back after these messages. What's up, great girlfriends? Who else has tried FabFitFun? If you don't already know about it, it's a seasonal box with full-size beauty, fitness, and lifestyle products. The box I received is epic. Each season's box features a variety of amazing quality brands like Tarte, Kate Somerville, Anthropologie, Free People, Dr. Brandt, and that's just the beginning of it. Don't miss out because they sell out super fast. Check out www.fabfitfun.com and use the code GREAT, that's GREAT, so you can save $10 off of your first box, making it only $39.99. Again, that's fabfitfun.com and use the code GREAT. You deserve to treat yourself. Enjoy!
Hewlett Market, a brand new shopping experience built just for you. From the best books, soothing aromatics, vegan-based hygiene, organic skincare products, and more, Hewlett Market has the essentials you need. Discover, shop, and share the best products all in one place. And all of these products were created by outstanding brands of color. From now until the end of May, visit www.hewlettmarket.com and use code TGG20 at checkout to enjoy 20% off select products just for being a great girlfriend. Shop Hewlett Market today. And this is very special because the co-founder of Hewlett Market is the better half of our co-founder, Sybil Amuti of the Great Girlfriends. So shop and enjoy.
What's my next step?
Right.
And so you as a brand builder, give me my next steps.
Right.
You tell me, here's how you can change that number.
Right.
Here's how you can become a real estate guru. Here's how you can buy your first home without putting down 20%.
Right.
Here's how you can make the most fascinating chocolate chip cookies in under 10 minutes. Here's how you can lose 10 pounds without leaving your desk.
Right.
You're eliminating pains, increasing pleasures. These are just examples of things or ideas or businesses that people may move on. But you're giving me my call to action from that point forward.
Right.
Because you're going to take away my pain and you're going to increase the pleasure.
Absolutely.
It's plain and simple, which now you can look at all the language on every magazine. You can look at all the newsletters that you receive, and you can see they're telling you how to eliminate one thing to gain
Right.
one thing, or how to gain one thing and get rid of something, how to
Right.
shed something so you can be your best whatever.
Right.
Which is where Oprah found her super strength, was how to live your best life.
Yes.
Wasn't that a high ambition?
Yes.
But didn't that show deliver
It did.
season after season on
Season
that?
after season.
Remembering your spirit.
Yeah.
That
It
took us
did.
on an inward journey that some of us are still on. That
Yeah.
we have, we know how to go there and come back out and go back in and come back out.
Absolutely.
So I think when we start thinking about that conversion, we understand that with every opportunity to present our authentic brand to the public, our inner circle, families, friends, and fools. And they don't have to be fools if you want to call them something else. But these are the people that don't know enough,
Right.
but have fully bought in.
Right.
And they just cheer you up. And you're like, girl, if only you. Well,
Right.
thank God she don't see the whole picture.
Right.
She only sees this part. But when we start to think about the conversion, we have to remember and recognize that we're eliminating a pain and increasing a pleasure. And that's how we're going to gain momentum around converting so that we make more money with our brands. That doesn't have to start late. That starts early.
It absolutely does.
But it challenges us to remember that we are a brand. And when you think about the major brands in the market, their consciousness, they love us so much because they want us to convert. That's all they want. They care about the idea that we can sell the story of a product.
Yeah.
1,000 miles away from the product. Brandis has sold me on Teslas. She does not own a Tesla, just so we're clear, yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
I can't get a Tesla without a home. That's my rule.
She has an order to it.
That's an order to this. Not having a Tesla sitting on the streets of Brooklyn. That is not cool. And I see it.
But you have sold me on the Tesla. You sold me on the Tesla. You sold me on the Tesla SUV.
Yep.
She sold me on Tesla well before we parked the Tesla outside of her house.
And part of it is the car, but a lot of it for me is Elon Musk.
It is. So whatever and check that out.
Yep.
Elon represents the brand for you.
Yes.
And the authenticity that Elon brings to the table makes you believe in the car that he's produced in the market, to the point that you're selling the story of a car that you don't fully own.
Yeah.
Isn't that powerful branding?
That's powerful.
Isn't that great conversion for Elon?
It really is.
Isn't that the truth about how authenticity pays it forward?
Absolutely.
And when you think about the circles, you're not quite in his early investment circle. You could.
I wish.
You're not quite part of that inner circle,
right?
But you've bought into the story of the product,
absolutely,
which is eliminating a pain or increasing a pleasure.
Yes,
and a Tesla will do both for you. If you are someone who believes in the environment and wants to protect the sustainability of the earth, if you're someone who wants the pleasure of driving a car with butterfly doors and having all the features that Tesla has to offer with the engine in the back, I think the trunk is in the front.
Yep.
All of these different things that matter to Tesla owners, then it's valuable to you.
Absolutely. And then it's the character. Honestly, all those things aren't as the car is cool, but for me, it's like what the car stands for.
Right.
It's like entrepreneurship at its like highest insane crazy level.
I love that.
That's what it is for me.
I love that.
It represents something that other people thought was ridiculous.
Absolutely. And completely contradicted the model of how you even enter the market,
yes.
right? But it was possible because he told a complete and authentic brand story.
Yes.
So those are the essential parts, the beginning parts, teaser taster parts to how you even start to consider your brand story. What's authentic? What's true to me? What's honest?
What's honest?
Good, bad,
not
and ugly.
Honest.
If you're not honest, people will find you
with your
out.
1 million followers. That's why some celebrities come out with stuff and they can't even sell it, and they've got millions of followers.
Absolutely.
But there is no stickiness to them or their brand because I don't even know who they really are.
Yeah, there's absolutely. I've had some conversations with brands, and the conversation is around a person who has built a story in one vertical, but will not quite convert in another vertical, meaning maybe the person is a singer but can't sell shoes. She's not ready to sell shoes because her brand story hasn't led people to convert or transact in a certain way. Because she's not fashionable, or her shoes have never even been a point of affinity for her.
Right.
So then all of a sudden she wants to sell shoes, and the market, people don't buy into it.
Right.
People want to buy into the story of a product more than they actually buy the product.
They do.
That's the honest means by which emotional triggers are used when people consume.
It reminds me of the documentary that was on Dr. Dre. You remember that one? Or was it? It was actually Jimmy Levine, I think.
Oh, Jimmy Iovine, yeah.
Jimmy, and they did the documentary, and they were saying that basically, like, people brought things to Dre all the time, wanting him to like put his name on it. And he was like, no. And so Jimmy brought him the beats, the headphones, and they had no idea how to make headphones. But he was like, this is it. This is actually true to me.
Yes. It's honest to you.
Yeah.
And you can deliver on it. And when you think about some of the most rewarding brand experiences you've had, they've never just been lukewarm, meaning it's never been something that just sustains you. It either increases a benefit or eliminates a pain. So you have to go back to the advantages that you create with your brand.
Yes.
And you have to remember, with that authenticity, when I do my SWOT analysis, when I discover my strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats to my personal brand, whatever that brand is I'm creating, what advantages does it create for people? What advantages what disadvantages does it eliminate?
Yeah. And
so even if, for example, with HFR, a brand which is sort of an advocacy brand, you're increasing Black excellence. You're increasing the idea that we're creating advantage for Black designers in the marketplace, which we're making us more influential stakeholders in the larger industry. We're moving a needle on something. Yeah. So people who want to consume, people who believe, and you help people to believe in the possibility of it every move you make. Every time your brand increases our stakeholder position in the market. Every time you say, this is a new advantage I've created, this is a new partnership, this is how I've leveraged the name, this is how I'm creating opportunities for more space, you're giving consumers a chance to buy in. Right. So people begin to see, and the longer you stick with the story, don't change the story along the way. The story has been the same.
The story is the story.
The story is the story.
Every time I get on somebody and they're like, how did HFR start? And I'm like, good Lord, you ain't read 12 years worth of press. It's the same story.
It's the same story. The story has not changed because it's an honest, true, authentic story. And the mission is the same, and the outcomes will change, or they will evolve or grow over time. But ultimately, you're moving the needle on the same pain point, increasing pleasures.
So this is, I don't know if this is even in line, but I think that it is. So this morning I was listening to a podcast with Tony Robbins on it. And he was saying that a lot of times we overestimate what we can achieve in a year, right? But we underestimate what we can achieve in a decade. And I was like, what if we thought about like our outcomes in terms of what happens if we stick with this thing for a decade?
That's right.
Because, I mean, I do it all the time. I always overestimate. I've gotten a little bit better in my older age, but I always overestimate. I'm an overestimator of a lot of things. It's just who I am. But when he said that, it made me go, wow, what if we created goals for ourselves and thought, we're not going to measure the outcome of this goal for what we achieve in the next month or the next 6 months or the next year. But what if we said we're going to actually measure the outcome of this in a decade? Like, that's powerful.
Right.
And if you think about it, if you stick with one thing long enough for a decade, like, I mean, huge things can happen just from sticking with one thing.
Absolutely.
You know, as long as you're seeing growth, don't stick with something that you don't see any growth in for a decade.
Yeah.
But as long as there's signs there that says you're on the right track, you're on the right track. You might not be where you want to be. You're on the right track. And then a decade goes by and you're like, wow, like I just thought that was so good when he said that.
It is powerful because you think about 1 year for 10 years.
Yeah.
Break that decade down into small bite-sized chunks that you can accomplish, and recognize that, you know, when I look back, my son is 10.
Right.
That's a decade worth of work.
Right.
Like, so when I think about what can be created or accomplished, even I look over business that I created, you know, 10 years ago, and I look back to where we started in the living room and then to see where we ended up, I think, wow, with the same consistent progression and the same honest intention and work ethic and drive along the way, you can continue to build the impact. But I think what happens most of the time, we crash when we start to try to eat too early off of a business. We put too much pressure on a baby business to generate revenue that's going to save us from poor decision making. Like, a baby business in infant stages should not be trying to cut out all your student loans and your debt.
Right.
You accumulated that well before that idea came into inception. So it's unfair to place the pressure on that business to solve all your issues in a year.
That's true.
In 2 years, in 3 years.
Yeah, it's true.
And if you really want to give your business a healthy start, you have to give it the proper infrastructure growth, which means you don't need to eat off of a business in the first 1, 2, 3 years. That is very hard for people.
So, but people might say, well, where do I eat from?
Okay, so when you when you're making these decisions about building a business, you can build a business, but you can also build your personal brand on the side of the business.
Right.
So you can build revenue off of your personal brand that doesn't impact the infrastructure or growth development of your actual product.
Absolutely.
Meaning your personal brand is your voice, and how you advocate and how you present that voice in the market, let that be an income driver for you, while your product growth and the business development for that thing is sustained separately.
Right. What about people who are just starting out?
Just starting out where?
Like, they're just starting their business. They're just putting themselves out there in the market. So should they then be putting themselves out there in the market as like a personal brand, like while they're still working their 9 to 5? Like, what does that look like? Because if I'm just starting out, people don't really know me for anything, and they don't really trust me for anything because they don't know who I am. So they're not willing to pay me for anything because they don't know me yet.
Well, that goes back to what we talked
just
about.
Just asking. This is just what the great girlfriends are saying.
You asking for a great girlfriend?
What the great girlfriends are saying.
But it's true. A couple things are true about that. If you're just starting out with a brand, and I'll give me an example. Maybe you're starting a coffee company.
Coffee company, okay.
You're starting a coffee company. You have been a coffee lover, aficionado, well before you built that company. You better tell me you have been, because if you haven't been, I don't know why you're going all of a sudden want to try to sell people coffee you don't drink.
It's true.
So you've already been known for this habit. Right? Or the affinity or the affection for this thing.
Right.
So all you're doing now, so saying that friends, families, and fools have already bought into this.
Right.
Because they know you for it, they drank it with you, they're tired of hearing about it.
Right.
But they know your obsession with this thing.
Right.
So you are known for it.
Right, you are.
You have an identity. The mass market doesn't know, but your inner investment circle does know. So you already have.
So start there.
You've got to start.
Yeah, it's true.
When we started with the Great Girlfriends, how many people did we email? 25 each.
Yep.
Now we knew way more people, but we were like, who are the riders?
Yes.
Who are the 25?
Yeah.
And we didn't duplicate lists. Her 25 were separate from my 25. Yeah. Who are the ones that can really help us make some noise on this?
Yeah, it's true.
We didn't go on Instagram. We didn't go on Facebook. We didn't start with that stuff. We started with an email and a website and a few episodes and a podcast that didn't have a name yet.
True.
So I'm saying it to say you are known for it already, but your ownership of it is a separate thing. You taking ownership of the thing that you're known for is the difference in you presenting your personal brand with strength. That's good. Or you hiding the brand.
That's good, because I met this guy the other day who showed me a picture. First of all, he smelled so good. And I was like, he happened to have a sample on him of what he was wearing too. Then I thought, maybe I shouldn't give this to Rich, right? It's kind of weird. But he gave me a sample to give Rich, but I thought, it could be a little weird. He was that much into fragrances.
Oh, wow.
And so the woman who I was with said to him, oh my God, show her a picture of your basement. And so he showed me a picture of his basement. His basement is literally shelves and shelves and shelves of fragrances. Wow. He has probably $25,000 worth of fragrances in his basement.
Oh, wow.
Right? He converted it into a closet that is his fragrance closet. I've never seen anything like this before in my life. And I was like, and so I go to his Instagram and I see a few things on fragrances. I was like, what are you doing with this? And he works for like a magazine. And I was like, but what are you doing for the fragrance? He was like, I've thought about it. He could literally tomorrow start anything around fragrances and people would buy it from him.
Absolutely.
I would have bought it from him. If he had told me, I have this thing that I curate for men, like whatever, and this is how much it costs. And because he was such an expert to me at that moment, I would have been like, sign me up. I'm going to get it, or, at least let me get something for Father's Day.
Right.
That's coming up.
Yeah.
I would have signed up immediately. And so you saying that makes me think there's so many things that we're just known for.
Yes. That
we don't even think about.
We capitalize on it.
Yeah, we take it totally for granted.
And most of the time, you think about a brand as most of us are a walking billboard for the things that matter to us. We just should be. Yeah. And if we're not, I don't know what we're representing if we're not representing what matters most. Yeah. Right? So by the time the Great Girlfriends came about, for example, I think it's safe to say most of my friends, your friends would say, you kind of a walking billboard for this. This was about time.
My friends, I had some friends who were like, oh man, now everybody gets to hear the brand I know. I did.
They're like, we got to share.
Friends in New York. They were like, oh, now people get to hear the brand I know. And it's so funny.
It's like people stop holding their breath. They're like, it's about time. Like, it made sense. And then the crazy thing was the fact that people in my circle knew it made sense. People in your circle it made sense. So when we brought collective voices together, it certainly made a greater sense, which was the idea that you can partner on things, but you should be a walking billboard for your passion. And if you're not, I don't know why we would hide it. And the thing about it is, if the people in your circle are not buying into it, it's because you've been tucking it away. You haven't truly taken ownership of it. It hasn't become a part of your identity, your DNA. Yeah. And if that brand's going to sustain in the market, it has to be a DNA thing.
I think sometimes, though, people take so many things for granted. Like, I think that people have all these strengths and they say, I don't know what my strengths is. I don't know what I'm good at. But it's so apparent to other people around you. So sometimes it's just a matter of you asking the people around you, what do you think I'm really exceptional at? Like 3 things that I'm really exceptional at.
Yeah. I think even when I started to build my brand builder voice some years ago, I struggled with publicly, talking to these key super players in the industry, people who I felt were already like mega giants, they're superstars. They have amassed millions in their businesses or billions at some point. Some people that I've had to do business with, what do you want from me? That's what I used to think. And I didn't respect or take ownership of the fact that I have an overwhelming ability to create or generate new ideas that generate revenue. So then it wasn't until one of my superhero clients was like, that's my next $1 million idea. And I got sweaty, jealous, because I was like, yo.
I just gave him his next.
I just gave him $1 million. Like, I just gave him, and he said out loud, he said, that's my next $1 million idea. I said, first of all, your next $1 million idea.
Right.
And I'm over here thirsting to try to figure out what my superpower is. This was probably about 6 or 7 years ago. Right. Yeah, about 7, because Dylan's 7. About 7 years ago that I realized what it is. Right. And I realized even in my home, when you come to my house and you sit down with my husband and I, it's like we work. Right. It's an incubator.
Absolutely.
You're never going to leave without something new. Right. A new, fresh way to generate. We should charge at the door. You should never come in for free. Going forward, we're going to have a swipe card. But so my husband and I had to take stock of that. Like, wait a minute. We actually are sitting on the wealth that other people are building on. Right. Hold on a second. Right. So it wasn't that everyone else didn't know. We just didn't take full ownership of it. But when I heard that out of that man's mouth, I was like, never again. What I generate is multi-million-dollar to billion-dollar ideas. Right. And I can prove to you the sustainable ways, the ways you can grow and sustain a business. Right. And it's been proven, but I didn't want to own that at first, so people didn't understand how to activate me in a room as a brand builder. They're like, help us with the messaging. Of course I can help you with messaging. I'm masterful at language. That's not a problem for me. But the other superpower was the revenue part. Right. That's the part that matters the most to any brand, is how to convert.
To anybody.
So when you put the language... brand. Come on. When you put the language, the story, and the superpower together, then you understand that that's a full conversion model. Absolutely. I didn't own that initially. It took me years to finally own it, but it took someone recognizing and saying publicly, that's my next $1 million idea, for me to be like, heck no, never again. Right. Not for this $1,000-something retainer. Right. No. Right. If I am going to give you $1 million idea, I'm going to contractually have it. I'm going to have in my contract that I get a percentage of that $1 million idea that's going to sit as passive income so my kids can go to college. Absolutely. That's how I operate now. Absolutely. At that time, I didn't have the courage to do that. Yeah. So, anyway. Yeah. Well, we can go on and on and on about my little passion project, branding. Not your little passion project. No, I'm just joking. But seriously, for those of you, I will say to African American women, we are building business at an all-time high. Yes. The leading class of entrepreneurs, but we don't make the most money. Absolutely. Our businesses are not performing at the highest rates. We don't even sustain them. And so we have to start to look very seriously at our revenue drivers and the expectations that we place on business as we're building them as a brand, and how our products convert, and what are the ways that we tell our story so that our story goes ahead of us. Because what's been so powerful, even for us as Great Girlfriends, so many people have heard about the Great Girlfriends but never listened to the podcast. Yeah, that's true. And we used to think that everyone that knew us listened. Yeah. So when people were like, so I'm going to go back and listen, I'm like, you ain't even listen to podcasts. Ain't never listened, but you know of and heard, oh, I love the Great Girlfriends. So is it a show? Yeah, like all the stuff they would ask, you'd be like, you ain't even listened to the podcast. But the powerful brand messaging has gone before us and allowed us to have space. So when it's time to convert, we should ideally be able to move people transactionally much easier because we've built a story. Absolutely. Yeah. So that's it. That's my tips for the day. No, that wasn't no tips, girl. That was meat. That was dinner. So that's your chicken plate. That was dinner that people can eat off of for a long time. Hopefully. You need to go back and listen to this episode over and over again, because it will. The thing is, it's like everything that Sybil's talking about are things that she knows works, and so. Like, why try to figure it out yourself when you have someone here who has the experience, who's done it right and done it wrong, I'm sure, and who's figured out what works and doesn't work, and who's giving you what does work.
And do you have something coming up for the Great Girlfriends?
I do. I have a Brave Biz Masterclass that is online, and you are invited to join.
Yes.
It's going to be fun.
Okay, so how do
my classes are fun. I'm such a great teacher.
I love it.
Okay, did I tell you that I taught at the University of Memphis? I was a guest professor for the day.
I can see you being a professor. Professor Amuti. I see
Professor Amuti. And I was in a fashion class, and I was like, shucks, fashion's not my thing, but business is.
Doesn't matter.
So the lesson for the students was around being in the industry, but not of an industry. So understanding that your business is the business of the industry, not fashion, but the business of fashion. How do you think outside of fashion so you infect fashion, but not being stuck in fashion.
Right.
So it was a fun class. But anyway, back to Brave Biz Masterclasses online. May 6th is 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The purchase, you can get your ticket at SybilAmuti.com, SYBILAMUTI.com. And these are.
Is there a link in the bio too of your Instagram?
There is a link in the bio in my Instagram at Sybil_AMUTI. And I did a masterclass in Memphis last time I was home.
I heard so many great things.
It was
about
so
that
fun.
The Great Girlfriends raved about it.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I love it.
It's fun. I think what I love is the light bulb moment. Like I feel like most of us sit in a point of confusion because we're sitting by ourselves in it.
Right.
And when you do step outside of yourself and get yourself in front of people who have gone before you and done things, you get the answers you need much faster.
Absolutely.
And so for anyone who's on the fence, even if you're in the middle of business, you have a question about starting a business, you want to start planning your model well before you start selling your business publicly.
Absolutely.
You want to start thinking about the framework. So SybilAmuti.com.
And then I know you don't have that many spaces. So how many spaces do you have for the Great Girlfriends?
I have 5 left. I have 5 spaces left. I could probably make a few more available if the demand hits. So yeah. So Great Girlfriends, right now, before this episode is over, I'm gonna encourage you to go to SybilAmuti.com so that you can sign up for this course now. And by the way, Sybil, this is the first course you've ever offered on the podcast. It is the first course I've ever offered. That's right.
So I already know. You probably already sold out by now.
I'm pretty sure, and I'm excited.
Yeah, I think I'm sure the Great Girlfriends already gone on. They've already signed up. It's already done.
Yes, and it's going to be great because it's going to help anyone who's in the middle of that start or scared to press start or trying to figure out what the next point of business is. It's going to help to uncrack the code on that.
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Cool.
I can't wait.
Cool. Well, Great Girlfriends, thank you so much for joining us this week. And we look forward to seeing you in June.
We cannot wait to see you in June. Hopefully, guys, this New York weather is going to be nice for you when you get here.
Yes. Those of you coming from Cali, bring us some sunshine.
Bring us some sun.
We need it.
Please.
Have a great week.
Hey, Great Girlfriends, it's that time of year again. We're inviting you to join us for the 2019 Great Girlfriends Doers and Disruptors Conference, June 13th through 15th in New York City. Our 3-day event includes exciting receptions, life-changing panels, connections, masterminds, and more. This year, we had over 100 women from around the world connect with like-minded girlfriends and create incredible memories. Now it's your turn to be a part of this exclusive event. Visit our website, www.thegreatgirlfriendsconference.com, to grab a ticket for yourself and for your greatest girlfriend. We hope to see you there.
We hope you enjoyed this week's episode of The Great Girlfriends.
Yes, if you enjoyed this episode, please share this with 3 of your great girlfriends.
Absolutely. And make sure you jump onto iTunes right now and leave your review. Let the world know how you feel about our 5-star show.
Absolutely. And we like to end our episodes by thanking our husbands.
Thank you, Kwaku.
Thank you, Mr. Rich Daniel.
And then we thank the minis. Thank you, Sam and Dylan.
And thank you to Miss Sky.
And thank you, Great Girlfriends, for trusting us as your go-to source for everything life, love, and laughter. Make sure you listen each Wednesday on iTunes, Stitcher, Podcast Bean, Podcast Republic,
iHeartRadio, Spotify, and every other podcasting service.
Yes, and please check us out on our social. You can follow us on Instagram,
The Great Girlfriends,
on Twitter,
_GreatGFS,
on Facebook,
The Great Girlfriends.
and please do join our Facebook group with over 16,000 great girlfriends.
Yay!
And that is
The Great Girlfriends.
awesome.
Make sure you post your questions online, share with your friends,
Keep listening
and keep being a great girlfriend. I'm Sybil,
I'm Brandis.
and we're signing off. Peace.